Hello Sven-gers, it's me, Svenny McG. Today we're going to talk about this little guy. This is the Nintendo 64 Transfer Pack. Let's jump right in and check it out.
The Nintendo 64 Transfer Pack, NUS019. Here it is in all its glory. We've got the Nintendo 64 logo, of course Nintendo embossed here, and then here is the connection port. You'll see that goes to the controller. On the bottom here it goes transparent so you can see the internals, kind of neat. And there's where the Game Boy port would go. You can see it says Game Boy right here. And mine has a Great Canadian Video Network sticker on the bottom. Now, why the N64 Transfer Pack? Well, once upon a time, prior to the Nintendo 64, we had the Super Game Boy. And this allowed you, using the port of a Super Nintendo, to put your Game Boy games in and play them through the Super Nintendo's console onto your television. Pretty awesome piece of hardware software here, but basically this is just a means to play it on your television, and it worked at the time, but it didn't support all Game Boy Color games. So then people thought, well, maybe that's where the advance would be. However, by the time the Nintendo 64 really got going, the Game Boy was starting to age out. It seems like Nintendo didn't have a lot of confidence in how well this would be received and if the need was even there to play. However, one game started blowing up, and that was the Pokémon series on the Game Boy. Because of that, Nintendo launched into Pokémon Stadium for the Nintendo 64, and with it, the Nintendo 64 Transfer Pack was included for the first time. Now, looking at the box here, you'll see, again, we have some of the characters here. I believe that's Blastoise and Charizard. Again, you see them on the top. Nintendo 64 pack. See him on the bottom, that's the big guy from Bulbasaur, but I don't recall his name exactly on hand. And looking at the side of the box, again, we've got Charizard. And everybody's favorite, Pikachu here on the other side. So looking at the back, again, it shows this set includes Pokémon Stadium cart, and it includes the Transfer Pack. And it says you can actually use the N64 Transfer Pack to battle using Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And that's for Pokemon Stadium, the original here. And then, of course, you can use the power of the Transfer Pack and the N64 to even play these games on your television. So it's pretty revolutionary for that. But again, that's limited to the Pokemon games. This didn't just make this completely wide open to play Game Boy games the way this guy did. Now, here in North America, the Transfer Pack actually worked with 6 games. Pokémon Stadium, Pokémon Stadium 2, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mickey's Speedway USA featuring Mickey Mouse, and finally Perfect Dark. Of course, how it interacted with each was different. This is a golf game, but the Game Boy Color version is more of a role-playing game. Here, actually using the Game Boy Color cartridge, you can create characters playing Mario Golf, level them up, and then import them back into your Game Boy game when you play it on the console. Now with Perfect Dark, using the Transfer Pack was going to give you stat boosts, but one thing initially rumored was you were going to use the Game Boy camera, where you could actually take your picture and import your face into the game. However, they say there was some programming issues, but further, it was compounded by the Columbine shootings that they decided to ultimately scrap the idea of being able to shoot people with other people's likenesses. Pokémon Stadium 2, of course, acts just like Pokémon 1, where you can import your characters, but with Pokémon Stadium 2, you can actually use blue, red, yellow, gold, silver, and crystal. Now, using the Transfer Pack itself is quite simple, of course. You're going to just take it, plug it into the bottom port here, get it to click. Of course, you've got that bevel round edge there and flat side here to connect. And then what you do is you just take your Game Boy cartridge and slot it in right there. Of course, it says Game Boy, and you're just going to fire it right in there. Plain and simple. Now, of course, when I boot it up with the Nintendo 64 cartridge in place, I'll be able to pull data from the cartridge and utilize it into the game.
Now, if you thought today's video on the Nintendo 64 Transfer Pack was interesting, please consider liking and subscribing. Follow it along, because coming up next, we're going to be looking at the Nintendo 64 Pokémon Stadium 2, and we're going to be loading up some of the Game Boy games from Pokémon with the Transfer Pack just to see what they do and how they function into the game. Until then, I hope you take care and be good to each other. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.